with him, and when he finished preparing, they would go to the pavilion. When the girl's brother entered, he asked his cousin, "Did he hear that that brat came to their house?" He began to say that these were the problems of the Chu family. Why did the girl ask him for help? They just need to invite his master and send him away. He looks like he wants to cheat and run away with everyone's money. The girl replied that her master was an important guest, so stop being rude. Didn't he understand last time? The guy thought that this time even his cousin wouldn't stop him. He must bring this scoundrel to light. The guy told Li Taishuan that he wanted to talk to him. If the guy loses to him, he will leave the city. Will he dare to accept his challenge? The master replied that he was giving him one last chance. He removes his hand and gets out of there. Having sent him, the guy replied that he was a useless piece, but was pretending to be strong. Hearing what her cousin said, the girl asked what he was looking for death. Let him apologize quickly. The guy answered his sister that no one will stop him today. Don't worry, their family will be fine with his master. Chu Shuifan shouted that today he will teach him a lesson. The guy asked how dare he mock him and flirt with his woman. Having stopped the girl, the master replied that it was good. Today he will also teach him a lesson. The guy asked who, hey? He doesn't care about him. He's just an arrogant hillbilly. Before he could finish speaking, he immediately received a slap in the face. The girl's brother started screaming, why the hell did he suddenly hit him? After his words, he already gave a stronger blow. Chu Shuifan asked the guy why was he mocking him. Let him not relax, he will take the skin off him. Trying to strike again, the master also put out his fist. The guy's hand was not standing. The bone was broken into pieces. Chu Shuilian asked the teacher to go easy on him. Let him keep him alive for her grandfather's sake. His brother kept calling him a damned brat. He said that it would be better if he killed him, and the master would avenge the guy. After hitting him several more times, Li Taishuan said that this was all because his sister begged him to spare the guy. However, his broken arms and legs will be his punishment. Let him be glad that he has such a good sister. The girl asked to quickly take the young gentleman to the hospital. When he saw his grandson, the man thanked the master for being so lenient towards him. The man knows that he was arrogant and insulted him. Hope Li Taishuan will forgive him. One of the subordinates said something in the man's ear. Chu Tianzheng asked why his grandson's master came there. He didn't call him. Chu Shuilian replied that she was sure that it was her brother's business. He called him here. The man said what a stupid grandson he is. The girl asked the master to be careful with that person. He is the master of a powerful sect in this area, and besides, he is a strong spiritual practitioner. He is called the strongest martial artist in the city. Even the whole of Jiangbei knows him. Many people want to become his students, but he rarely accepts training. Before accepting her brother as a disciple, grandfather had to give him a big house, and only then did he reluctantly accept Shufan. The man came up and immediately asked, what happened? Who maimed his student? Looking at the old man, he said that apparently the man did not want to greet the master of his grandson. Chu Tian replied that no, that is not true. Master Li agreed to come there. This part is for him. Let him please come and sit down. Looking at the guy, the master said that just don't tell him that this man crippled his student. The guy saw that it was him. Turning to the master, he said that it was difficult to avoid meeting the enemy. This guy injured him and Yang Shaokong back then. The master replied that he had been looking for him for a long time, but did not think that he would meet him here. He beat his brothers and now also his student. If the guy is not stupid, then let him break his legs and arms, and then kneel before his brothers and student and beg for forgiveness. And if not, then his corpse will quickly be taken out of there. Looking at him, the man thought that he was an ordinary brat, an upstart with a pretty face. Xue Feng's cultivation suffered, and Xiao Hoi became crippled. The master must teach him a good lesson, otherwise he will be ashamed to remain in the city. Why does he need this martial sect if, after this incident, no one wants to study in it? Li Taishuan replied that those guys were going the wrong way. They wanted to beat him up together with Yang Xiaokong. In response, he simply crippled them. Perhaps the guy was too merciful. Xue Fan had already insulted him twice. If not for the Chu family, he would have killed him long ago. And in general, why on earth did the man decide that he could tell him? Grabbing the sword in his hands, the master shouted that he was a bastard. Who did he even think he was? Approaching the sect master, Chu Tian asked him to calm down and listen to the old man. He knows that his old enemies have come to his home, right? To protect his family, the old man invited this master. He replied that it was good since Mr. Chu asked, the man would deal with his enemies, and then it would be this bastard's turn. Master said this guy looks useless. How can he help them? In fact, he found out that they were in trouble, so he came there so that he could help them. He is the strongest practitioner in this field as well as a martial sect master, and the old man wants to say that this guy is stronger than him. The old man replied that Mr. Li agreed to help. Then victory is theirs. Solar Phoenix Pavilion. Qi Shuang asked Yang Xiaokong why there are so many people there. He said that they came to take revenge, but what did the guy mean? He asked whether the girl remembered what he told her about the Ni family. So they will destroy the Chu family today. The girl asked, is the Chu family really inferior to them in strength? The guy replied that of course, but they need to hurry to his father, otherwise he will have to greet the Ni family alone. Illegal arena. The man said that old Ne would definitely destroy the Chu family. Soon they will take over the entire city and their family will lend a helping hand. The man replied that he knew what he really wanted. Soon he will unite all of Jiangbei. He will allow them to become representatives of his family and will reward them for all the information they convey to him. Qi Shuang asked Yang Xiaokong, who is the man here? He is so arrogant that even his uncle treats him with respect. The guy said that his name is Ne He. He is the head of the family, a true martial artist. He has no equal in the city, and the Chu family is like a bug compared to him. Li Taishuan, with his meager skills, was no match for him. Does the girl see all those people in the arena? They are all martial artists who lost to him. The guy laughed and said that today is the best day. Li Taishuan will die for humiliating them. No matter how arrogant this guy is, they will have the last laugh. Qi Shuang thought that although the guy had changed, he still remained as weak. He refused her last time, which means it was his own fault that he missed such a chance for survival. People started shouting that the Chu family had arrived. Let the sect master teach this impudent man a lesson. They said that he was acting too arrogantly. Not only is the Chu family his target, he also plans to kill all the martial artists. Yang Xiaokong thought that they could behave arrogantly, but when Master Ni showed his strength and killed that Chu Tian, he would capture the entire city and rule there. They will all fall to their knees in front of him and beg for mercy. Calling them a bunch of scum, the man said that just to challenge them to a duel, how difficult it is to find worthy opponents in the city. If the old man knows what situation he is in, then let him hurry up and kneel before him. Maybe then he will forgive him. Having climbed into the arena, the guy shouted that he shouldn't be so arrogant. He'll see how he scores today. The man asked, and will he kill him? Does the guy have enough strength? He told him to disappear and asked Chu Tianjing to appear in person. Having started to attack, the guy shouted that he should not dare to underestimate him. Just as he was about to strike, the man dodged. This was followed by a retaliatory strike. People began to discuss that the guy could not withstand even one blow from Ni He. They wondered what they should do. Who can defeat him? The man shouted that the old man should not hide behind the others. There are no worthy opponents in the city, just trash. Chu Tian replied that, nay, he should not underestimate the experts from Huzhou too much. This year, his brother was also illegally involved in the production and sale of opium. He himself is to blame for his death. There was no need to engage in such business and harm citizens. The old man advises him to stop this and not make more mistakes. He replied that the old man talks too much. Today he will take his head to calm his soul. The master shouted that he was impudent, so he should teach him a lesson for such words. The man said that it means he is a fighter of inner strength. No wonder he's so arrogant. It would be better for him to retreat because the master is no match for him. He thought that he must first make the first move. He said that it was quite interesting that the guy was able to block several of his blows. But if that's all he can do, then let him die. The man said that he had already broken through to the border of the great master. He trained hard for half his life, but was never able to reach the boundary of a great master. I didn't think that, he would be stronger than him. One more blow, and he would have died. Chu Shu saw that even his master, the strongest practitioner in the city, was still defeated by him. People were scared that, he had reached the limits of a great master's power. This meant one thing: only a master like himself could defeat him. Chu Tianzhong understood that he could not be defeated. He is afraid that even Li Taishuan will not be able to stop him. Will the old man really die there? Taking her grandfather's hand, the girl told him not to worry. The master will definitely defeat He. She believes in him. Grandfather answered her that everything is the will of the gods, which have not be avoided. He asked, does anyone else want to fight him? Just let them go and die. He told Chu Tian that today he would destroy all the martial arts masters of the city right in front of his eyes and see what he did. You asked far away, is this some kind of joke? He calls himself the strongest in the city? He's just trash. Tao Bai, the master of the immortal crane sect, appeared in front of him. He said that men should not underestimate their martial artists. Pointing the weapon at him, the man shouted at him to go to hell. He managed to hide under the barrier and asked his gun, does it use spiritual power to fire? Quickly heading towards the immortal crane sect master, he struck him several times and asked if he had reacted just now. It is too late. He shouted that the damn trash couldn't withstand even one blow. And these are the great martial artists from the city? All he sees are pathetic insects. Approaching Chu Tianzhong, the man said that today was the day of his death, but he won't let him die so easily. He will lock him in prison and slowly torture him. The old man will regret that he did not choose a quick death from the very beginning. Chu Tian replied that he is the head of the Chu family. An honest person like him is not afraid of death. The old man would be disgraced if he died at the hands of a brat like him. He asked what was the point of acting so boldly now. He hopes the old man will not cool his ardor when the man tortures him. Li Taishuan told the pathetic ants to get out and not be an eyesore for him now. He asked where did this brat come from? He dared to meddle in other people's affairs? If he wants to live, then let him kneel down, bow his head 3 times and get out. The guy asked, does he want people to bow their heads in front of him? The man is not worthy of this. He even understands who he is dealing with. Let him step back. He thought what a powerful aura. Is it really an illusion? It probably just seemed like it. He is no more than 20 years old. Even if he started cultivating as a child, there was no way he could compare to him. Moreover, he can no longer feel his aura fluctuating. He must have been hallucinating. The man shouted that he couldn't be tricked. Li Taishuan told him that he had only recently touched the boundary of a great master. Even a true great master who came to this place would die by his hand. Chu Shui thought that until now this brat had behaved arrogantly. Even now he continues to repeat the same thing. He will definitely beat him today. He shouted that he was an upstart. Even he can only fight him for a few minutes. In any case, this guy wouldn't be able to match even now. He's little finger strike. He's just pretending. He won't even have time to realize that he's dead. Now, he told the guy that since he had already talked enough, it was time for him to die. The master said that Li Taishuan is still arrogant, although death itself will soon overtake him. He didn't understand how this clown could live so long. After receiving the blow, He realized that he had underestimated that brat. The man felt no power from him. Did he deliberately hide the fact that he was a great master? He realized that the guy was just pretending to be a weakling, and this weakened his vigilance. He called him a damn kid and shouted that he was not a weakling. However, will the barrier be able to block it? The master boasted that he could even block bullets with it. But with one movement of his hand, Li Taishuan shattered the barrier into small pieces. The guy answered, "What loud words, but in reality it's a fragile shield." The man didn't understand where he came from. He is absolutely no match for him. I understood that everything was bad, so I decided that I had to leave now. Li Taishuan asked if he really wanted to escape. So he likes to run? Thanks to his technique, the guy crushed him with his huge hand. Nay. He asked him to wait and said that the guy could not kill him. His teacher is a true great master. After a powerful blow, the man fell silent. People immediately began to wonder, is this guy even human? Nay, he is the strongest expert in the city, and he was able to kill him in 3 moves. Is this really the real power of a great master? Bowing, Chu Tianzhong said that in the future he will follow his instructions, after which the rest of his family bowed and said that they would all follow his instructions. Yang Shaokong asked his father, should they really bow their heads to this Li Taishuan? The man replied that they must assess the situation correctly, let him learn to be patient. He lost, so they should bow their heads and greet Li Taishuan. Otherwise, their young family would be in great danger. It will get to the point where they will be kicked out of the city. The master continued to shout that he was just lucky. There is nothing special about his victory. The guy replied that let him come. Doesn't he want to deal with this venerable man? Come on, let him go up to the arena. The man replied that he would let him tell him. No matter who the guy is, he still has to call him. Li Taishuan slapped him and asked him who he thought he was, decided to show off in front of this venerable man. This slap should teach him to respect other people. This slap should teach him to be humble, not to be arrogant and put other people down. The third slap in the face for the way he educates his students. What is the character of the master? Such is the character of his disciples. If he cannot teach them good things, then let him not force them to learn bad things. Watching his master, the guy thought that he hoped this brat would die today, but the guy took advantage of the opportunity and became famous. Chu Shui can no longer rely on his master. He hoped that Lei Qian would return as soon as possible, since he had loved his sister since childhood. The girl is fascinated by her master, but nothing. You just need to wait, and he can take revenge on him. Lei Qian is an elite soldier of the Shanglong Army and also a student of the Longtiangang Eastern Military Base. Young Shaokong approached the guy and said that it was all his older brother's fault. He was wrong, and therefore he came to receive punishment. They hope young Master Li can forgive them. The guy added that great people don't hold grudges, so just let him forget about it. He began to say that he really didn't like Qi Shuang. This girl captivated him. She is a real harlot. He continued to say that she was only attracted to money. He did the right thing by leaving her. Anyone can ask for such a fool. He certainly doesn't need her. The girl began to ask what Yang Shaokong said. The guy repeated that he wanted to break up with her. From now on, they are strangers to each other. She abandoned the great master and then stuck to him like a bath leaf. The guy was apparently blind if he fell for her puppy dog eyes. He shouted that he didn't want to see her anymore. The difference between him and Li Taishuan is big. He said that there is no point in even comparing. The girl loudly shouted his name. He asked why she was shouting. Today they say goodbye to each other. The girl asked if this cretin really wanted to take everything from her and leave her, after which she hit him. Not expecting this, the guy hit her back. The guy shouted that he was young Shaokong and he would kill her, after which they began to fight. Watching everything that was happening, Li Taishuan could not stand it and shouted for them to get out of there. Young Shaokong asked if the girl heard. He asked her to leave from there. The guy added that he should also get lost. If he didn't express himself clearly, he'll repeat it again. Let them both get out of there. He replied that it was good. He was also leaving. People immediately began to discuss that the guy definitely does not need this family. They tried to befriend him after defeating Ni-He. Hypocrites like them should leave there. All the guy thought about was that he wanted to lure out the person who was behind them. If it weren't for him, Li Taishuan would have gotten rid of them long ago. Chu Tianzhong told Mr. Li that he still had to be careful. The man heard that nay. He suddenly became strong thanks to the expert he recognized as his master. He said that this man is very mysterious and enigmatic. He is probably a great master. The guy should know that in all of China such a great master as Mao Lin is difficult to find. And it's even harder for someone young like him. It's difficult to deal with such practices, so the guy has to be very careful. Li Taishuan replied that he knows. This is normal for him. Even if a real great master came there, the guy would still kill him. He is now at the peak of key refinement, the final stage of cultivation on earth. There, the external energy of the master corresponds to the middle stage of ki purification, and the internal energy of the master corresponds to the highest stage. Li Shizhen relied on this power to be a sect master and become respected among other powerful cultivators. He needs to increase his cultivation speed because there is one person waiting for his return. Although the guy has completed his formation, the spiritual energy of this planet is too weak. If he wants to enter the Tianxian kingdom, he will need to gain even more strength. His divine body can purify any spiritual things. If he finds more divine stones, he can refine a lot more energy. His cultivation speed will be increased to a whole new level, the divine chaos. Stone stores a lot of spiritual energy. Some of them may contain divine techniques, which is extremely rare. That's why so many people in his past world risked their lives and killed other people to get it. Now he needs to fight a real great master to test his level of combat power. That demonic cultivator who had escaped earlier should have recovered by now. It's time to take her energy and create immortality. The immortality tablet must absorb all types of spiritual energy in this world. This will be difficult to do, so he must start now. In his previous life, his father tried to provide for him and worked very hard. He was often sick and did not receive the necessary medical care. As a result, he died. The guy decided that now he would not let him suffer. Alley of 1,000 Flowers. The taxi driver asked the guy if he was really planning to go there. He said that this place is infested with evil creatures. He'll give him a discount, so it's better not to go there. Li Taishuan replied, not to worry, this is where he is going. He saw an old lady who was burning something. She kept repeating that her son died a terrible death. The guy thought that it looked like the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers was an interesting place after all. Li Taishuan decided to see what this place was like. Suddenly, some guy crashed into him. Qiao Fei saw the guy and asked why he was there. The guy replied that he would like to know why he needs this ritual money and candles. Didn't he talk? His mother was in the hospital and could not even leave the room. She's gotten worse lately, but the doctors can't help her, so they took her home. Yesterday, his father invited Master Liu, who is famous in the province, so the man took advantage of his connections and invited him. The master said that he could cure his mother, and he needed these things for the ritual. Li Taishuan asked the guy if his house was somewhere nearby. He replied that yes, he lives in a small residential area of Anfu, not far from there. He told Li to hurry up and leave this place. The Avenue of 1,000 Flowers has a very bad reputation. If it weren't for buying these things, he wouldn't have come close to him. The guy replied that since he was there, he would take him to his mother. Maybe he can cure her illness. Li Taishuan doubted that Master Liu, he might turn out to be an ordinary fraud. Qiao Fei asked, can he really help? The guy remembers that he didn't study medicine, so this is not a situation where you can joke. Li replied that he wanted to see that Master Liu. He said that here they are. This is his home. Walking into the room, Li Taishuan heard that the woman was saying to let her go. She wanted to go home so that no one would come near her. The man told the master that he must save his wife. The price is not important. Master Liu replied that everything is very complicated. Someone cursed his wife. He can only stabilize her condition, but it will be very difficult to cure her. The guy didn't understand what they should do. The master just has to help them. He replied that, of course there is a way to cure, but it will take a lot of effort to make a pill. Each ingredient costs almost a couple of tens of thousands. The man is afraid that they will not have enough money. Xiao Fei shouted that he only needed to cure her. They are even ready to sell the house if necessary. Li Taishuan asked him to wait a little. Approaching the woman, Li activated the celestial phoenix eyes. The guy realized that, as he thought, she not only lost a piece of her soul, but was also infected with something vile. This aura most likely has some connection with that demonic cultivator. He thought it was lucky that he had heavenly phoenix eyes. If not for them, the guy would not have been able to understand the reason so easily. Looking at Xiao Fei and her uncle, the guy said that he could cure her. The woman's body is very weak, so the evil spirit is trying to take over her body. She is possessed. Master Liu asked, how did the younger brother make the diagnosis so easily? He said that she was possessed, but how could this be? It was only daytime outside. Let him explain it to him. Li Taishuan replied to tell the man to shut his mouth. He came there to help her, not to argue with him. Turning to the guy, he asked him to tell him, has your aunt ever walked past the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers? The man replied that it seemed not. This place has long been abandoned, but they live nearby and could drive past it by car. The guy said that means he was right. The source of her obsession must be in the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers. They need to get her there. Only by bringing the woman there can he help her. He told Xiao Fei that the guy would go with him and carry his mother. Suddenly, they were stopped by Master Liu. He began to say that if they listened to this with a finger, then trouble could happen. Afterwards, let them not blame him for warning me about them. If this happens, then 100,000 of them will no longer be enough to treat her. The man thought about it. The master is a well-known person in this field. He has a good reputation and fame. He usually only helps the elite of society. If it weren't for the high-status person who invited him, he would have turned them down, even if they had money. But that guy is his son's best friend. He behaves calmly, which means that there is no point in him lying to them. Xiao Fei told the master that it was a matter of life and death. He suggested combining both options. Master Liu replied that it was fine, but then he could give her a medicinal pill first. This will help her for half a day. This time will be enough. The brat will still make her suffer. After he fails, the man will finish what he started. As soon as he held out the pill, the guy immediately snatched it out of his hands. He is wrong. There is real ancient poison inside this medicinal pill. The master is so rotten that he will do anything for money. The man began to answer that he did not understand what the guy was talking about. He came there to save a man's life. He never committed any wrongdoing, so he has no right to slander him. He didn't understand how the guy found out. Clearly he's hiding something. Master Liu suggested going. The guy said he could cure her. He will see what tricks he will use. Him later for not protecting her. This place is crawling with all sorts of creatures. Therefore, when they find themselves there, let them not dare to call for help. Looking around, the guy said that this place was definitely abandoned. Li Taishuan told them to follow him. The man asked what they were doing there. Seeing this, the guy said that it's strange. The Avenue of 1,000 Flowers has been abandoned for a long time. Why is there a guard there? The man told him that his wife had become obsessed. Just let her take a look. The guard replied that it was incredible. He had been living in this place for a couple of years, but had never seen anything like this. They can pass. The same old woman was sitting on the side, burning money. The guard shouted at her to do it somewhere else. The old woman replied that she was burning ritual money for her son. He was a taxi driver and was heading to this place. Last night he came to her in a dream and said that he was still going there. Master Liu said that he said from the very beginning there was no need to come there. This place is too dirty. But since we arrived, let him act faster. Li Taishuan asked him, has he still not noticed anything? And how can he call himself a master after this? The man replied that this brat is good at wagging his tongue. What nonsense will he say this time? Suddenly, something strange began to happen to the guard. The master immediately began to shout that there was a monster there and wanted to run away. The guy grabbed his hand, thereby stopping him. He began to ask, didn't he say that there was some kind of master? This is just a stray monster, and he was so scared that he decided to run away. The man began to shout that he was just a fraudster. Let him hurry up and let him go home quickly. Li Taishuan said that then let him answer, was there an ancient poison in that medicinal pill? The man shouted that yes, he tried to deceive them and did it only for money. This damn thing is almost here, please let him go. The monster began to come closer and closer. Li Taishuan said to show his true form in the name of this venerable one. Suddenly, at some point he disappeared. The guy said that everything is fine now. He needs to destroy the remaining evil spirits. By morning the woman will wake up. Qiao Fei asked, is this true? He began to thank the guy. He said that after his words, he felt much better. The man also added that this is a very dangerous place. He said that he was lucky that they were with him. Meanwhile, Master Liu tried to escape. The guy managed to grab him. The man began to ask what he wanted. Li Taishuan asked what he thought the guy would do to him. He deceived many people, so it's time to repent for his sins. Let him quickly take his own pill. The man shouted that this was a real ancient poison, how it all itched. He ran and asked someone to help. He needed an antidote. The guy told his friend that if it weren't for him, they would have been deceived. He is afraid to imagine how his mother could have suffered. Li replied that they should return home, but he had something to sort out. Qiao Fei told the guy that several years ago there were accidents there, and all the businessmen who owned this land died for unknown reasons. He must be careful. The man asked him to take care of himself and said that when he finished, let him return to their home. He would wait. The guy said, Heavenly Phoenix Eyes, activation. He found it. This place has the strongest source of evil energy. This appears to be the lair of a demonic cultivator. He realized that this was the same place. The guy is surprised that there is an ancient tomb there. The same old woman appeared before him again. She kept repeating that her son died a terrible death. Turning to the guy, she said that he seemed to be the same age as her son. Maybe he will become her son too. Since he has come, let him stay there and become her son. Let him protect this tomb with her. The guy asked, did another wandering ghost dare to stand in his way? She kept repeating that anyone who dared to disturb the ancient tomb of her master would die. The monster began to approach the guy. Raising his hand, he shouted for her to get out of his way. Li Taishuan didn't think that the demon cultivator would be able to gather so many wandering ghosts. It's lucky that his Taishuan energy works against them. Otherwise, if there had been an ordinary priest there, he would not have lasted long. Actually, as expected, the demonic cultivator is there. Suddenly the guy noticed the divine chaos stone. Opening her eyes, the demonic cultivator asked, is it he, the damned man who destroyed her servants and prevented her from cultivating? He told her that last time he let her go because she could have been useful to him. But now let him wait for no mercy. She asked to wait and said that she admitted that she was too weak then, so she retreated. And she would have died from absorbing his life force. But now the demonic cultivator said that everything is different. She used the evil energy of this place and was able to break into the demonic realm. Now he is not her opponent at all. Li Taishuan replied that in a short time, she was able to transform from a small ghost spirit into a magical one. Looks like she has some talent. If she gives him the divine chaos stone, bows her head and agrees to become his servant for 100 years, then he will let her go. She shouted that she didn't even dream. The guy doesn't even have the right to decide her fate. Having accepted her attack, he said that the gap between their forces was too great. Is this all she can do? The demonic cultivator didn't understand how this could happen. Why can't she withstand even one blow from him? She couldn't believe it. The girl shouted the demonic call of the soul. The guy thought that it was Jiangxi who became a demon. He didn't think they still existed on Earth. It looks like there are many more secrets hidden in it. The demonic cultivator said that this was the 1,000-year-old king of Jiangxi. She only recently learned to control him, and he is much stronger than her. If he gives in, she will simply drain his life force and allow him to die in peace, but if he refuses, she will tear his soul apart and make him suffer. Li Taishuan replied that it was very funny. The demonic cultivator replied that she did not believe that the guy would be able to leave there alive. Let him accept his death. The guy replied that she did not know the limits of her strength. In this case, all he had to do was calm her down. Suddenly, she noticed that this guy had disappeared. Li shouted at the demon spawn. How can he let her do whatever she wants? He decided to destroy her using a suppressive demonic talisman. She asked what the hell kind of technology is this? The girl couldn't even move. Li Taishuan once again repeated, let him serve him or die. The demonic cultivator couldn't understand how he could kill the 1,000-year-old Jiangxi so easily. She shouted that she was giving up and would serve him. She voluntarily gives him this divine object. Let him spare her. The guy replied that she should have done this from the very beginning. He will monitor how she performs her duties. If you don't cope, you will be expelled from this world. He didn't think that he could find another Chaos Divine Stone on this planet. Moreover, he was purified by the spiritual power of the magical beast. This is a definite rare case. Maybe this stone is even more valuable than the previous one. As soon as he absorbs it, he will immediately receive divine blessing. Its cultivation speed will be greatly increased. At this rate, there won't be enough energy on this planet for him. But thanks to the stone, he believes that he will quickly break through to the peak of the state of Qi purification, go to the Tianxian realm or even another realm. The girl said that she gave up and gave him what he wanted. Now can he let her go? Li Taishuan asked what she was talking about. Now the girl is his servant. Why couldn't she see her true form? She began to ask him not to do this. Then she asked why her transformation was destroyed. This transformation was supposed to help her with her development. How dare he? He asked, how dare she talk to him like that? The girl immediately began to ask for forgiveness and say that she would not do this again. He asked her to tell him her name and where she got the Chaos Stone. She replied that her name was Lan Wu. She said that she did not know that it was a Chaos Stone. On the day he wounded her, she accidentally found him in Jiangxi's coffin. She realized that he could help her develop, so she took him. She thought he was a fool. The girl will pretend to be good and then tear him into hundreds of pieces. The guy thought that the Chaos Stone had a connection with Jiangxi, so he had to protect it. Li Taishuan asked, wasn't she the one who gathered those demons in the Avenue of Thousand Flowers? She replied that no, she just saw that this place was suitable for cultivation, so she came here. These demons lived there long before her. The guy thanked his friend. He said that only he could cure his mother's illness. Now, all their worries are in the past. The man also added that this is true. Their family does not know how to thank him, but let him accept this modest gift. Li Taishuan replied that Qiao Fei is his best friend. He cannot accept him. The guy also added that the Avenue of 1,000 Flowers is an unusual place. He asked if his friend knew anything else about it. Qiao Fei replied that, as far as he remembers, many years ago a large project was planned there, but the evil spirit that lived there was very strong. The one who was responsible for the project jumped from the roof, and after him several more people died. Now this building can be bought for only 1 million, but as you can see, it is still without an owner. The guy thought 1 million? Are there still buildings that are being sold so cheaply? Li Taishuan expelled the evil energy from there, and since he will soon leave this world, he must acquire it as property for his father. He wants the man to retire peacefully. He told his friend that since his aunt was fine now, he would leave them. He still has things to do. As he was leaving, he heard the woman say that he was a good person. They should help him in the future. The guy told Lan Wu not to leave his side or run around. She replied that in order to escape, you still need to try. Li Taishuan said that they had arrived. Looking around, the girl wondered, is this the phoenix from Legends? He even has a fallen dragon tree. Where did he get these greatest treasures? She asked, what is this? The girl felt that a huge amount of spiritual energy had gathered there. Lan Wu said that this is a great formation and asked if he created it. Pointing his finger, he asked her to stand there. She thought that just don't tell her that he wants to use the formation to take all her energy. Li Taishuan said that he should activate the divine chaos stone and let her stand still and release her demonic energy. If she does anything suspicious, he will immediately banish her from this world. The girl replied that she kept her word so she would not do anything. He understood that her demonic energy could help him absorb the divine chaos stone and make the formation more complete. Spirits gather energy for great information, so demon energy is no exception. Thanks to her, he can turn a fallen dragon tree into a true dragon. Looking up, the girl thought that the spiritual dragon and phoenix had become the spiritual foundations for his formation. Looks like she underestimated him. The guy ordered her to start. She thought it was a curse, her demonic energy, which she had collected with such difficulty. Damn him! In principle, this is not so much, but she is not in the best shape right now. Everything has yin and yang. The tree belongs to yin, so the yang demon energy increased its growth rate. The activation of the divine chaos stone was successful. It was easier than he thought. She thought, what's the matter? The girl definitely released demonic energy. Why doesn't she feel exhaustion, but rather a huge amount of energy inside her? He said that even though she is a stimulant for this information, she still absorbs energy from the entire city. As long as she stays there, her cultivation will continuously grow. The girl thought great spiritual gathering formation. In any case, if she can cultivate there, then her speed will increase and not slow down. A person who is capable of creating such a thing cannot be so simple. If she continued to cultivate with him, she might even be able to reach the heavenly demon realm. He can no longer absorb the chaos divine stone. Huge reserves of energy fill his body. Its cultivation is constantly increasing. Li Taishuan ordered Lan Wu to stay there and not run away. He'll be gone for a while. She answered yes, after which she called him a master. Was he surprised, master? Although let him call it what he wants. Young Zi ran to the guy and told him that everything was bad. Li Taishuan asked him what happened. Who is it like that? The guy said that Su Minghao had just returned. The teacher replied that it was a great time for him to return. He just wanted to settle an old score with him. Young Zi said that he blames them for betraying him and becoming the teacher's tails. As soon as he returned, he severely beat him and several classmates. The teachers who expressed what they thought about him were later beaten by him too. One of them is in a coma and was sent to the hospital. He doesn't know if he'll make it out. Another classmate of his had his legs broken. If he had not run away so quickly, the same thing would have probably happened to him. That guy is too arrogant. He relies on the strength of his family, so he doesn't value other people's lives. He brought a gang of thugs to find him. The teacher better run. He's already heading there. Li Taishuan replied that since that guy was targeting him, he would wait for him. Wants to see it. The guy thought that he should forget about it, stop improvising. He asked how this noisy thug could create all this mess. The guy asked, so is he Li Taishuan? He's just an ordinary guy. Let him look and say what he thinks about these posters. The guy replied that he saw that they were as ugly and useless as he was. He replied so that Li Taishuan would not think that if he could defeat Yang Zi, he had become someone great. Wants to argue with him? Today, All the teachers and students will see him crush it. Let everyone know that the guy is the only king in this school." The guy replied that he was just an insect, unworthy to fight with him. Lan Wu appeared behind her. The girl told the master that if he doesn't mind, then let him give this useless garbage to her. Li Taishuan replied that of course, but just don't kill them. The girl replied that she understood everything. Approaching the guy, she began to say that the master told her not to take his life, but the girl has poor control over her powers, so don't blame her if she remains crippled. Su Minghao said it was funny. Li Taishuan hid behind the little girl's skirt. Does he want her to fight for him? Just let him look at her. She seems to be describing herself now. He told the girl to go home and drink her milk. Well, or if he sees blood, he'll really make a puddle there. She replied that she would now see who would wet themselves there. Gathering strength in her hand, Lan Wu hit the guy. The shock wave sent him flying several meters away. The guys asked what the hell? What did they see now? The guy didn't understand what the fuck was going on there. You see that the girl is slowly walking towards him. He began to shout that she should not come near him. Then he asked what she was doing. Lan Wu screamed that he dared to tell her that she might wet herself. Now the girl will make him pee his pants every day. Su Minghao won't fix anything. He returned to school but had already created a lot of problems. Li Taishuan only uses force to fight violence, so it's all his fault. The guy kept asking why he was so brave. Li dared to hit him? His father won't forgive him for this. The guy replied that then let him call the one who raised such a disrespectful son like him. Perhaps the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Young Zi told the teacher that he knew the guy's father a little, that his father was strong in martial arts and had a high position in the city. Not only the old man Chu Tianzheng from the Chu family, he also cultivated more than 100 cultivators. The guy also added that he can do whatever he wants in the city, and no one dares to contradict him. Li Taishuan replied that it was enough. Everything was fine. Having reached his father, the guy began to say that everything was bad. Someone wanted to cripple him. Let the man hurry up and bring people with him. Li Taishuan replied, "That's good. Then he will wait for his father there. The guy wants to see what the man who raised such an ill-mannered son looks like." The Su family undoubtedly has enormous influence. Such a huge number of people. They didn't understand who the father of this guy was? These people look very bloodthirsty. The guy is now in great danger. Li Shizhen asked who the bastard was who dared to cripple his son. The guy asked why father took so long. He was almost beaten to death. Pointing his finger at the guy, he asked his father to kill him for him. The man said that he wanted to see who this daredevil was. He had just been defeated by Ni He. Did they really decide that everyone has the right to bully him? Seeing Li Taishuan, the man froze. The guy asked what was wrong with his father. Let him kill him quickly. But all the father did was slap the guy in the face. He began to ask why his father had not killed him yet, but also hit the guy. Li Shizhen asked, does he even understand what he did? He told him not to get the guy into trouble and not bring problems to others. But he didn't listen to him. Now they are in complete ass, and that's putting it mildly. Su Minghao told his father that Li Taishuan is just a poor, homely teacher. Why is he afraid of him? The man asked, the poor teacher says, does he even know who forced him to remove the symbol of the combat school? Suddenly, it dawned on him that Li Taishuan was involved in this. The father replied that, exactly, he was defeated by Master Li. Now the head of the Chu family and the leaders of other families recognized him as the leader. Meanwhile, he, the stupid son, dared to mock the master of faces using these stupid posters? The guy is truly worthless. Li Shizhen bowed to Master Li and said that it was all his fault, but he was still not the last person in the city. So could the guy do him a favor and forgive his son? Lan Wu asked how dare he? He also dares to mention his honor to her master? The man lowered his hands and clenched them tightly into a fist. Li Taishuan replied that he did not think that the guy himself had become that bad. It's all just because of him. Approaching the guy, he said that he was expelled from school. The guy thought that Li Taishuan must have threatened his father. He thought that it seemed like his grandfather was the only person who could avenge him. The man knows that they are very close to him, so he must help him with his problem, no matter what. Chu Tianzheng replied that he was not entirely sure whether he would want to help him. Such a strong man must be very proud. They can't know what he will do. At some point, the man's phone rang. He apologized and said that he needed to answer. Chu Tian saw his reaction and said that he looked worried. Did something happen? If they have problems, let them tell him. In this city, no one dares go against him. The man replied that this was his useless grandson. He got into a fight and his leg was broken. Everything is fine, don't worry. He can handle this matter himself. Qi Shuang began to say that she had spent so much time looking for him. The girl came to say that she realized her mistake. She really regrets her decision, so please let her forgive her and offer to start over. Can she become his girlfriend again? She was stupidly blind. Money clouded her mind. She didn't need to look down on him, so please let him take her back. Lan Wu asked to become a girl again and her master? Did she see herself? Does he think he deserves to become her? The guy answered the harlot that she shouldn't think that pursuing power and money is somehow wrong. She herself chose this path, and he does not forbid her from doing so. He also added that she shouldn't get involved with young Xiao Kong if she doesn't want to cause him problems. And he'll tell her one last thing, let her go to hell. Wanted to become her owner's girlfriend. She doesn't exactly know her place. He only remembered that because of her in a previous life, his arms and legs were broken and he was sent to prison. His father sacrificed his life to get the guy out of that hell. All this happened because of this vile harlot. Did she want him to forgive her? Even if he doesn't hope for this chance. Now, she will live half her life in suffering and repentance. Su Minghao shouted to the guy not to dare to run away. His grandfather was almost there. Li Taishuan asked him to stop talking nonsense, or he would make the guy shut up forever, when suddenly a car stopped right in front of him. The guy thought it was great. He didn't think that Grandpa would come so quickly. Now he's definitely finished. Su Minghao began to tell his grandfather that this was the same person who crippled him. He must take revenge on him for him. Bowing his head, the man told the teacher that he heard everything his grandson did. His damn grandson was too arrogant. He beat up his classmates and teachers, so it was a fair punishment for him. But still, he is his grandfather, and he was responsible for part of his upbringing, so it is his fault for not being able to raise him to be a good person. The man in no way blames him for such actions, and he is terribly sorry that they caused him so much trouble. Su Minghao asked his grandfather what he was doing. Can't the man see that Li Taishuan broke his leg? His father is also afraid of him. Is he really going there? Hitting the guy in the face, he said that this old man had been through a lot, had been in shootouts and on the battlefield, and not only was he rotten to the core, he had achieved nothing in life except to become a goofball. The master is completely right. They should take up his education. Chu Tianzheng appeared in front of them. Su Rong asked why Sir is there. The man replied that he heard noise from cars on this side, so he became worried and came there to see if Mr. Li Taishuan was okay. Looking at his friend, the man said that Mr. Li was the same great master with whom he was looking for a meeting. Chu Tian said that it is inconvenient to talk about this there, so please follow him. They need his help. The guy replied that it was good, but it was successful. He also has one thing to do with him. Su Rong said that this time, he wants the guy to help them protect the idol Mu Dong Wansuo. She is the main idol of this country, a magnificent actress. Her voice is like an angel. She has millions of fans. Soon she will have a concert in Huzhou. They must guarantee her safety within 1 week. As soon as they complete the task, they will pay him 100 million. Li Taishuan replied that unfortunately, he had no desire to be an idol's bodyguard. The man said that this girl's father was their longtime friend. He sacrificed a lot for them, so he devoted very little time to his daughter since she was little. Now he is engaged in one research to create a secret weapon of serum. Once the research on this serum is completed, their special forces soldiers will be able to take their combat power to the next level. As a result, their power could reach a profound strength expert or even higher. If the experiment succeeds, it will become a huge threat to their enemies. Therefore, in order to interrupt this experiment, the enemy is constantly looking for their secret base and at the same time preparing an assassination attempt on the family. And it so happened that the girl was his friend's only relative. If something bad happens to her, will he be able to focus on his experiment? This question will definitely affect the outcome of his research. If this happens, then all their resources and efforts will be in vain. The man begged Mr. Lee for the good of their country to accept his request to protect that girl. The guy thought, in the world of cultivators, this method allows an ordinary person to become a Superman. A person himself can break the cocoon and become a butterfly. After the serum is introduced to strengthen the body, the cultivation will increase. Some cheap trick. The man said that in fact this serum was found by a student who was conducting research in Shushan. He still remembers that in the immortal realm there was the Shushan sword sect. They had many famous magic sword wielders. Their flying sword technique could take them to any place, and wherever their sword hit, incredible sword ki power was released that no one could handle. But this is a very mysterious sect. They rarely had contact with other people. Many experts wanted to take a look at their ball technique in the hope that they could master it, but everyone who went there ultimately did not return. Even Shui Shi, who used all her strength in cultivation, could not break through the gates of the Shushan sword sect, and yet her cultivation was almost equal to the guy. And yet, what a mysterious sect this is. Unfortunately, in his previous life he did not have time to reveal their secret, for he was killed by those 3 insignificant rats. However, he learned something interesting from him. Perhaps the guy could actually find some traces of this sect in the lands of Shushan. Chu Tian told Mr. Lee that he knew he was looking for the divine chaos stones. The man can guarantee that after completing this mission, he will receive it from him. Who would have thought the head of the Chu family has another divine chaos stone? Although the guy has great gathering information, there is no telling what might happen, so the more cultivation resources the better. Li Taishuan replied that it was good. He would also have a couple more demands. The men replied that of course they were ready to fulfill them. He said that firstly, they should show him the original samples that were returned from Shushan. The man replied that of course this is not a problem. But first he must tell him that these things are in the hands of his old friend. No one can touch them except him. They must meet him. Li Taishuan continued to say that regarding the other requirement, the guy wants to own the Thousand Flower Alley. Chu Tianzheng asked Thousand Flower Alley? There is a huge accumulation of evil energy there. Why does the master want it? He said that Flower Alley was cleared by him. Now, it is normal land. The man thought it was unthinkable. They invited so many practitioners, but everything only got worse. The man didn't think that Mr. Lee could cleanse the evil energy in the Flower Alley. Su Rong replied that if this was the case, he would prepare a contract. He said that if the gentleman decides to help them, he will be calm. Watching this, the head of the Chu family thought that it seemed like he was able to help his old friend. The same Mu Dong came through the door. Su Rong told Mr. Lee that they had arrived. The man immediately introduced them to each other. He said that the guy would protect her while she performed in this city. Looking at the guy, the girl said thank you to Uncle Su, but she thinks that this guy can't guarantee her safety. Just let them look at him. He looks so weak. She thinks he is not suitable for this job. Let them wait. As soon as the killer appears, the guy won't even be able to defend himself. Not that he should at least look like her bodyguard, but the guy can't even reach him. Su Rong replied that the girl was mistaken this time. To obtain Mr. Lee's consent, he had to sacrifice many resources. At some point, the man's phone rang. After apologizing to everyone, he said that he needed to answer the call. After the conversation, he approached the gentleman and told him to take care of Wansuo. He has urgent matters and needs to go away. The girl said that now he can go. She doesn't need his protection, but don't worry. The girl will tell Uncle Sue to pay the guy. It's not that she underestimates him, but in the city, only the young great master who killed he can make her admire him. She said that he was the only suitable person to play the role of her bodyguard. Li Taishuan replied that the young great master she was talking about was him. The guy said that he takes promises very seriously. If he agreed, it meant fulfilling his duties. The girl said that great masters are just legends, characters who are considered immortal. Also, most of them wear fancy outfits, and he looks quite ordinary, and even dared to call himself the name of her idol. The guy just insulted the great master, and she hopes it won't happen again. Jackson said that a skinny monkey like him is not worthy of protecting Miss. He dared to pretend to be a great master? Yes, the guy is just a coward. Let him see if he can cope with his fist. Then he swung his hand to strike. The girl shouted for him to stop. She asked them not to quarrel there. Jackson said let the guy see how lucky he is today. God forbid they cross paths. Mu Dong Wansuo told the guy that he had better go home. There are things in this world that you can't get, no matter how hard you try. Li Taishuan replied that he was also lucky today. If they had continued, he would have already been found lying on the ground. Jackson called him a damn monkey and asked if he wanted to die. The girl thought that this guy was so arrogant. It's clear from him that he doesn't give a damn about anyone. She asked her bodyguard to just go downstairs and wait for her. Jackson responded to Miss that he showed no respect for her. The man must punish him for this offense. The girl replied that she should just leave him alone. It's not their concern. It's time for them to leave. He began to shout that the guy dared to disrespect Miss Wansuo. If this happens again, then he will face the same fate as that table. As soon as the girl was about to leave, he asked her to stop. Li Taishuan told her that he had advice for the girl. This is a stupid jock with an initial layer of inner strength. He can fend off such an ordinary killer as much as possible. Mu Dong replied that she did not need his advice. Go outside, the girl asked who the hell parks their car like that. Looking across the road, the guy noticed that something was wrong with those people. Li Taishuan told Jackson to be on guard for assassins nearby. Laughing, the guy asked the killer, "Why then doesn't he see them?" He started shouting, "Where are the killers? Let them come out and fight him now." Mu Dong asked Harry to call someone and ask them to get her car out. Calling the guy a damn monkey, Jackson asked, "Didn't he say there were killers nearby?" Suddenly, a knife flies straight into the bodyguard's forehead. The man talked about how they needed to do everything quickly. As soon as the second bodyguard grabbed the girl by the hand and said that they needed to escape quickly, he was immediately killed. He said that he was ready. All the bodyguards were dead. Let them kill Mu Dong now. The girl thought, let them not say that she will die here and now. Turning to Miss Mu Dong, the man said that they were just doing their job. May he please rest in peace. He managed to shoot, but the bullet hit the car next to the girl's head. She saw Li